Hello, everybody, and welcome to the next episode of the weekly Let's Play series. Still don't know what I'm going to call it exactly, but today we're back with Fortnite, like I said we were going to last time, because Fortnite's got some cool Star Wars stuff going on for the Star Wars Day celebrations and whatnot. So today we're taking a look at Droid Tycoon. Oh, I should probably move my headphones so you don't hear it. So this is surprisingly interesting, surprisingly addictive game mode, which maybe it shouldn't be too surprising because I've always been super addicted to these, like, I don't know, I call them capitalism simulators. I don't know, like Cookie Clicker, Adventure Capitalist, things of the like. You know, those have always really drawn me in, and it also helps it, as you can see here, first off, the UI, it gets very cluttered with all this text and everything, but you actually get, like, in-game, like, Fortnite XP for seeing my count is leveling up, just for doing crap around here. And I think they might have nerfed it. I'm not 100% sure. I think they've nerfed it because I went from, like, in like 2 or 3 days, I went from 75, like level 75, and now I'm 153. I'm almost 154. So yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. It's a lot of XP to be had. I would not be surprised if they're nerfing that. But anyway, you may be asking, what is this mode all about? And to answer that, I'll say that this is not a guide. It's not a comprehensive guide or anything. I've seen a few guides out there. There are guides out there. This is not one of them. But I'll just go through a quick rundown of what we got going on. Basically, I mean, if you know, like, any capitalism simulator, as I called it, you kind of know, you kind of get the gist. I guess this is supposed to be like that Roblox game, Steal a Brain Rot or whatever. I've never played that. I don't play Roblox, but evidently this is supposed to be similar to that. But we actually got not AI slop in this, so that's cool. This is literally the whole gameplay loop. You just pick up droids, you buy them off of the thing, you craft them, you send them to work, they make money for you passively, right here and there and everywhere. You can put in droids when you build a droid here. See, I'm still getting account XP for this. Build a droid, and I can just sell them. You see, I got some chips for that. I got money. You don't get all the money back, but you do get chips, which you can use to upgrade your droids to make them even better. And yeah, that's the gist of this game mode, pretty much. So now that we got that out of the way, we don't need to focus on tutorials. Like I said, this isn't a guide. This is the weekly Let's Play. So let's just talk about it. First of all, the Fortnite celebrations for Star Wars Day is like, okay, I don't know. They put in a game mode as well in Fortnite that's like Battlefront, but I don't know. I didn't find myself loving it. It was fun enough. Like, Phantom T and I played it last night, and then we just kind of went back to Droid Tycoon, basically. I got Jetpack too. This Jetpack is really fun, actually, to play with. But, yeah, then they have something else, which is like Escape Vader, which I guess is like one of those... I've seen, like, those game types become kind of popular as of late. It's like, you play as, like, a regular person escaping from the really powerful players. I know, it's that game like Dead by Daylight, I think. It's kind of all about that. It plays like a team of, like, really weak people, and then you have to run from the killer, and then you got, I think Dragon Ball did a game like that. I think it got canceled. It got shut down, but yeah, I think it's supposed to be like that. I don't know, I haven't played it. Again, I've been playing this. Like, this is stupid addicting. It really shouldn't be this as addicting as it is. but I've been spending way too many hours on this, and I don't know, man. I probably seem like a crazy person to most people. So this is all it is. You can play online. This is a private lobby. I found that the public lobbies are very laggy, and also, I mean, like, why would you really want to play on a public lobby? I guess if you want the competition, if you want to be able to like troll people and stuff, and if you enjoy getting trolled yourself. But I don't know. I just plan on a private server right now, which is very nice that they offer that. Also, they're very laggy. Did I mention that the public servers are very laggy? I played on a public server a couple times, and it lagged really bad. Yeah, man, we're just freaking playing Droid Tycoon. I like this game. Way more fun than it should be. And it's also, it's really popular. I don't know, I don't think I can, like, see the play counts on this screen. But I think this is getting, like 90,000 something players or something like that. Like, surprisingly popular. I don't know how, either. I guess I don't know, again, its similarities to the Steal a Brain Rot thing might do that. I don't know. But it's also, I do think it's a well-made mode. Like, genuinely, like, for what this is. It is pretty nice. Like, you got a lot of bespoke models here. So some of these might have been, like, in Fortnite already. I don't know. Like, I'm pretty sure they have... Like, we got the R2, the R units here. It's like, these might have been models, like, that they just had in Fortnite that you could, like... Whoever they contracted for this to make this game mode, they might have already just been able to pull that out of the files and just reuse some of these assets. But again, others I'm pretty sure are completely unique. And then they got some fun designs, like I like this little freak. It's like a mouse droid with, I guess, like pit droid arms and legs, which is really funny because this thing doesn't exist in actual Star Wars. That is, they made that up for this game mode, and I just think I think it's cute. I think it's fun. I think it's a smart use of assets, reuse of assets, and I mean, you get this whole thing, this whole like base you can upgrade. Like, I don't know. I feel like this is pretty competent for what it is. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and sing its praises legitimately. Like it's the second coming of, I don't know, Undertale or whatever. But it is really good. I like it. I think that, you know, a good amount of effort is put into this, and I found the creators have a Twitter account, and they seem very, very receptive to feedback, very willing to address things with the community. So we'll see how that plays out. I don't know. I'm very curious to see kind of where this game mode goes. They've been teasing a lot of new stuff, and I'm very curious, and I'm very interested, and I just think that the devs seem nice, I guess. You know, seems like they got a good thing going on here, and it's again very popular. I really expected like the Battlefront mode to blow up, because, you know, everyone loves Battlefront. Battlefront's cool. I really expected that one to get like really huge. And to be fair, I mean, it might be. I'm not cued into that algorithm, I guess. I didn't find myself caring too much about it. Whenever I played it, I was like, man, I could just like actually just be playing like real Star Wars Battlefront right now instead of this. That's maybe a little mean, but I don't know. Oh, and these guys too. I think they're funny. There's a lot of funny designs. I don't know how canon. Again, they make a lot of like they have the droids, like regular droids, and then they just kind of, well, first of all, obviously they put different coats of paint on them for the rarities. And then they just kind of take and mix and match the parts to make new droids. Again, I think that's fun. Like, I could legitimately, like, even though some of these don't actually exist. Again, this guy, I don't know. I could see him existing in Star Wars in, like, a background shot of the special edition. Which, speaking of Star Wars, I have been watching a lot of Star Wars lately. It's, I touched on that a little bit last week. But since then, I have watched all the prequel trilogy. And episode 7. I could have, by now, I could have finished the sequel trilogy. But I didn't want to. I wanted to do some other stuff. Like play Droid Tycoon. No, but, man, I love the prequel trilogy. I was incredibly surprised to find that I, like, really like the Phantom Menace. I always hated the Phantom Menace, and you can see, I think, in a lot of videos, a lot of our, like, fiery plays, I feel like I don't know, I couldn't really say anything off the top of my head, but I feel like there's been times where I've, like, said bad things about the Phantom Menace, because I always did hate it. Even as a kid, I was like, I'm not too big on that movie. But I don't know, something about it, man. I watched it just like a week or so ago, and legitimately, I just found myself really enjoying it. An epic rainbow droid. Do I really need this, though? You can see, obviously, they all have, like, this guy will make me 1,444,000. Or 1,000, I guess 1,440 or something like that. But I don't really need that. That's a little... I don't know, I guess I'll buy it. We'll use it for parts. It's a very grindy game mode. I do wish... One of my biggest complaints about this game mode is you can't, like, help your friends. Like I said, PT and I were playing this last night, and I can get, you know, I can pick up the droids off the thing for him and stuff, but I can't put it in his fabricator machines. I can't, and you can do other stuff. Like, you can give other players your weapons or your tools. You can hit this thing for other players, and they will straight up get the account XP. They will get the money, the game mode currency, the game mode XP, and the account XP. All for that. You can help. You know, if you hit the things, you speed up the droids. You can do that for your friends as well. Or just, I guess, any other random player. It doesn't even have to be your friend. You can do all that, but you can't, like, take a blueprint and throw it into their machine. They have to buy it in order to get it, which I think is a little bit of a shame, because I think that would open up some fun cooperative play, especially if you drag a friend in who's, you know, just started and you're already at, like, level 100. You could really help them out. Or if you wanted to, again, if you wanted to just be generous in random lobbies, you could gather up some droids and throw them into your friend's base, or the random's bases. I think that'd be fun. It's a bit of a shame you can't do that. Maybe it'd be a little broken because you'd, like, immediately... You'd be able to... You know... to skip a ton of progression goals, I guess, but... I don't know, who cares? It's Droid Tycoon. Like, it's not that deep. If you wanna just help your friend out, you should be allowed to do that. But anyway, sometimes I feel like the throwing physics are a little weird too. So it wants to, I think, prevent you from throwing it too far. So sometimes I feel like they'll, like, teleport back to you if you throw them in a certain way, which I think is kind of weird. Yeah, back to what's been going on in my life. I really like the prequels. Again, surprisingly, really enjoyed The Phantom Menace as an adult. I didn't enjoy it as a kid, but something changed. I really appreciate it now for what it is. And you know, like, I know one of the biggest criticisms of the Star Wars prequels just as in general, but especially The Phantom Menace, is people don't like the politics scenes. They think it's boring. But I don't know, man. I would agree. I would have agreed several years, many years ago, but recently I've like come to eat that shit up, and I couldn't tell you exactly what changed. But it's like, man, like, you know, and that was true for like the Clone Wars TV show as well. Like I used to, as a kid, I didn't appreciate the, you know, the thought, the wordy, thinky episodes. Like, you know, just as a couple of years ago, you know, rewatching the Clone Wars, I was like, wow, this shit is like actually really fascinating. I really like this, and even more so like the last year or two. I watched a good chunk of the Clone Wars. I think it was just last year, and I was like, yeah, this shit is fascinating. I like it. And so, you know, watching the Phantom Menace last week, I was like, wow, this is really, really interesting. I like these scenes. And same with some of the other two prequel movies. I think the politics are very fun. I do. And I think that like the prequels are like my favorite. I really like the original trilogy as well. The original trilogy is obviously great, but man, I don't know. Something about those prequel movies, man, they make me feel some shit. Really good, especially Revenge of the Sith. Just damn good movies. And then I did watch Episode 7. You know, I could have finished the trilogy by now. I did not. I decided not to. Just give it a little bit of a break after Episode 7. And you know what? I'll say, like, I do actually really enjoy Episode 7. I do think that's a good movie. I have a lot of issues with it. Mostly, like, a lot of it is, I just really don't like the setting. I don't like what they do with the setting. I don't like how they set up the New Republic and the Resistance and the First Order. I think the Resistance is so stupid. As just like in general, just like as a concept, I think the Resistance is dumb. You can fight stormtroopers too, by the way. They're not really that hard. But I think the Resistance is really stupid. It would be far more fascinating, in my opinion, if they, I don't know, if they did something like a reverse original trilogy or something, where the bad guys are the underdog. I don't know. I'm not here to talk about fixing the sequels, but I will say, just in general, I did really. Oh shit! I'm about to die. I thought these guys were easy. Did they make them harder? I feel like they made them harder. Anyway, I did really enjoy Episode 7. Oh, and I don't give it the reward because I wasn't close enough. That's fine. I enjoyed that movie, and I am really excited to watch Episode 8. Because again, I know people who glaze that movie, and I really want to see what they see in it. I've just been on a big Star Wars kick, and it's funny because it really isn't related to Star Wars Day. Like, I did not even remember Star Wars Day was a thing. I just, like, I really wanted to watch. I really wanted to watch the movies, and I just so happened to coincide with the whole Star Wars Day thing. And I watched Revenge of the Sith on May the 4th, which was funny. It's like perfectly timed, basically. Yeah, I do wish this game mode had, so again, those chips. That's the whole reason why I'm building these droids and just selling them for the chips. So I can upgrade droids to progress further. I wish there was a way you could automate getting chips. Like, I feel like if you got like one chip, because this thing is like useless. This little station, it's good at first. But you see here, like, I'm in the billions of credits right now, and this is only giving me a couple thousand. Like, that is nothing. That's nothing. This is pointless, and I don't know what level up does. Like, I'm in this game mode, I am level 116. I don't know what levels do. I don't know what benefit those provide me. So, and I don't know what like this level 31 for the machine. There's so many levels to keep track of, but the level 31 for the machine, it's like, what does that do? Well, I know it gives me more credits. Like the higher level it is, it gives me more credits. But when I'm at level 31, which this is taking like you can see how long this takes just to level this machine up. And I'm only getting, again, a couple thousand for scrap. Like, that's a rainbow tier. I get 60,000. But again, that's like not even a drop in the bucket when you're in the billions at this point. So it feels very weird to me. It feels very useless. Like, you hit a point of diminishing returns with this thing. Where there really isn't any point to continuing to hit it. Because I will get, like, infinitely more money just in, like, a single second here. 28k, 50, 80k, 100k. Like, that's already way more than I can make hitting this thing for, like, 20 minutes. Pretty much. Maybe it's an exaggeration, but... so if this thing... So my point is, like, each one has a health bar here. Hit it, like, 2 or 3 times. If each one of those gave you, like, 1 chip... I think that'd be good. I think that would be... I think that'd be fair and balanced. I really like this game mode. It is very addicting. And I'm at a Fortnite level 150. And I don't even really need that much XP because I don't... There's nothing like in the battle pass that I want. Like, I do have the battle pass and I'm getting the super styles, but it's like, I don't know. There's not a whole lot of point, I feel, because I'm just kind of like, there's no point in getting that many battle pass like levels when I'm not gonna use it on anything, you know. Like, I don't know if Fortnite offers you any unique rewards for like hitting much higher tiers, because you only need to get like, well, I think you do need 200 maybe to get all the full like extra rewards in the battle pass, but then after that it's like, what am I doing at that point? I don't know. And again, I don't even want them because I don't think they look particularly great. I don't care for most of the characters that they put in the battle pass, which is a shame. Would have been fun if they did a Star Wars themed battle pass again this year for Star Wars Day. Then I'd be grinding the shit out of that, but... You know, whatever. Now we gotta do some management. Which I do enjoy me some management. And that guy'll work. You're 6k. The other guy was 6k as well, I think. We can get rid of you. Don't need you. But yeah, I've been on a really big Star Wars kick as of late. Like, I got the Star Wars brain rot in me. It's pretty cool. You know, I've been thinking about getting getting into the Old Republic games, which everybody always talks. Everybody talks a lot about the Old Republic games, but I never really played them. I was never terribly interested. Also, this guy's stuck. There we go. I was never terribly interested in the like Knights of the Old Republic games. But now I'm kind of like thinking like, oh, maybe these are cool. Maybe these are good. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. And there's also like an MMO, the Old Republic. It's not Knights of the Old Republic. It's just the Old Republic. And that game looks cool. But that's 75 gigabytes. I don't have that much. I don't have that much storage space to spare on my computer, which is unfortunate. I probably need to upgrade at some point. Get a better PC. Oh yeah, I guess continuing the Star Wars talk, there are whispers of retcons coming to Disney. I guess it wouldn't be retcons, but there's been talk about that. I guess the new season of the Ahsoka show is going to do some crazy timeline altering stuff to basically erase the sequels, which is really funny. That's I don't know. That's really funny if true. I don't know, man. So this guy, hello, this guy. I guess I'll don't have anything else to use all my billions of dollars on. Yeah, apparently they're gonna according to it's just rumors, but it's also been a theory for a long time that that Disney were gearing up to decanonize the sequel trilogy, because I don't know, I guess people like it just doesn't sell well. I guess they're not very marketable, which I don't even know how true that is necessarily, because I feel like those movies still made bank, but then I guess I don't know, people have looked at toy sales, and I guess like nobody's buying toys of the sequel era. Everybody just wants original trilogy. Everyone wants prequel era stuff. Excuse me, I got the hiccups pretty bad right now. But yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting decision for sure. Like, where would you even go? I wonder, like, what they're gonna do. Star Wars is kind of in this in a weird spot. I don't know. They're just really weird. They're just doing really weird things with this series. And now it's like all of a sudden, oh, we're gonna just completely remove an entire era from Star Wars. Which obviously they did when they bought the whole franchise. They did decanonize a bunch of stuff, but this is the first time that I feel like that they've like, again, if this is true, it's the first time they've done like a big initiative to decanonize something that they've done on their own. Which I do think is a shame, you know. I think that like Episode 7 is a really good movie, in my opinion. Not the best, not perfect. Definitely not on par with the originals or the prequels, but was really good in a lot of respects. And again, some people did like the direction Episode 8 went. I still can't speak on that because I did not like it when I first watched it, but I am, you know, I have an open mind nowadays. So maybe I'll like it. But then they just kind of fumbled the ball. I think most people agree that the Episode 9 was not so great. And, so yeah. I know that, like, it's a very controversial series of movies. But they never really did much with the era. Like, I feel like you could have done some really good stuff with it, though. You could have salvaged it, I feel. Like, if you had done, like, a show, like in the Clone Wars style, with Rey and Finn and Poe and friends, I don't know, you could have maybe done something. You could have maybe made something out of that. And it could have been, like, that show at least, that piece of the era, could have been really beloved. I don't know. But instead you just made, I don't know. They made like a really like kiddie kind of show set in that era. Star Wars Resistance. I never watched it. I haven't heard great things. They made that, and then, I mean, they made like books, maybe comics. I don't know. I'm not too tuned into the comics side of things, or the books really even. But you've done that, but no, not even like, I don't think in Star Wars Visions even. Like that little anthology anime series. I don't think they even did anything with that era then. It's always been, well, I feel like a lot of Disney's efforts have been on like the post Endor era. Like after the original trilogy, but you know, before the sequels would take place. That's where a lot of their concentration has been, which is interesting to me. They're really just pooling a lot of their focus on that one specific chunk of time. Which in and of itself I think is a shame. I know they did the whole initiative to do like the old High Republic era stuff, which was mostly just books. It was mostly just books and I think comics and stuff, which there's nothing wrong with that. But again, like I said, I'm not as too tuned into that sort of side of the franchise. And I don't really know how well it went off either. I haven't really heard too many people talking about it, but I don't know. They barely touch like the Clone Wars era and stuff, or like any other era, like in the the Republic era or any of that really. So I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. You can maybe do a little bit more variety, but I don't know. Just in general, I kind of don't really care too much about what they're doing. Like, I know I just spent the last like 20 minutes talking about it, but I'm just kind of like, whatever. You know, you can kind of do what you want. I will continue to watch, probably, maybe. I haven't actually watched any of that stuff in a while. But now that I'm in the Star Wars kick, once I finish my movie series rewatch, I might dip my toes back into some of those new live action shows to see what's up. Obviously, people like Andor. And I think Andor's got a lot of that political drama thriller kind of stuff. People sitting around in rooms talking. Which, again, I really loved that about the prequels. So maybe Andor is literally made for me. I don't know. Take a swig of water. What I do know is I'm really tired. I was about to say for some reason, but then I remember I stayed up till like 4 o'clock in the morning and then woke up at like 10 in the morning. So yeah, I'm just tired. And hungry. I haven't eaten that much either. Tired and hungry. And it's been playing Droid Tycoon. I've been bouncing back and forth. I need to like just focus on one thing. I've been playing a little more of the Hyrule Warriors. I think I talked about that last time. On the last week's episode video. I've been playing a little bit more of that, not too much, but I'm starting to have a little more fun with it. Again, the story is still like kind of whatever. But I'm starting to vibe with it, especially like in terms of the gameplay. Like, of course it's fun. I feel like I wouldn't really say any of the Nintendo Warriors games are unfun. I haven't dipped my toes in much of the Muso games in general. I played a lot of the Nintendo ones. I played Warriors All Stars, which I think that one's a good one. Although it's a little clunky, but still pretty good. But I haven't really played any like proper Dynasty Warriors or Samurai Warriors. I did play a couple of the very, very first ones for like PlayStation 2 or whatever. I think it was PlayStation 2. The Dynasty Warriors one was on. did play a couple of those, like the really early games, just to experience them. I couldn't really entirely tell you I was a huge fan of it, but I also didn't give them too much of a chance. You know, I really want to play, I think it's Origins, Dynasty Warriors Origins. I would quite like to play that one, you know, check that one out. It's more Warriors in general. Always good in my opinion. Even, like, sometimes it's a bit of a difficult draw. Because, you know, I feel like a lot of the appeal, like, obviously a lot of the appeal of like, Hyrule Warriors, the first one that Nintendo crossed over with them, you know, the whole appeal of that one was to be this huge extravaganza of the series, and all these characters coming together you can play as, and that's great. I love that. Then you got, you know, Fire Emblem Warriors, same thing, although significantly less diversity across the franchise's history, but still. You know, I love the Fates characters, so I was more than fine with it being pretty much entirely Fates. But you know, then you got well, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity is also much the same way, because again, it's you got all these lovable characters, you know, these pre-established characters that you love. You can play as them. Same with the Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. Although I still haven't played that one. I own it. I just haven't played it much. I played like the prologue of the Edelgard route, but my issue with that one is it just split between routes. I don't like doing routes. I wish I could just play all the characters. I'd much rather have just like, instead of like a canon story with like route splits and everything, like I'd rather just what you call it, just have a silly story, make up some excuse for all the characters to work together, and then just let me go ham with it. But yeah, I think so. Back on topic, Age of Imprisonment, the new Hyrule Warriors I'm playing. That one's kind of interesting because it doesn't really have many beloved characters at all. Because like I didn't like the sages really, like in Tears of the Kingdom. They weren't very interesting. They weren't very good characters at all. You know, in Breath of the Wild, especially if you did the DLC, you got to really know a lot of those characters decently well, and they were likable and everything. And so I know people took issue with this story, Age of Calamity. I love the story of Age of Calamity. I really do. But that's like a secondary tangent we can get onto at some point. But what I'm trying to say is, what I'm trying to keep on track is, you know, it had a beloved cast already. Like, there's a pre-established cast that you could go into and enjoy, and then Tears of the Kingdom didn't really have that. So, you know, like, you come into this game, and it's like, okay, well, we have Zelda, we have Rauru. Rauru is a good character. I do like him. Minoru, she's good. But really, that's it, because you've limited yourself to just... What is this guy? I don't think we need him. I don't think we need him. No. That's really it for Tears of the Kingdom, because you limited yourself to just, like, the past characters. And I don't know if there's gonna be, like, some secret thing where it turns out it's not canon and there is some weird more time travel stuff involved, or... Probably not, but... You know, I don't know if there's gonna be, like, secret unlockables where we can just non-canonically play as, like, Link and, you know, the modern-day champions or whatever. Probably not, but, like... Either way, you've limited yourself to just these basic characters who even in the game, like I'm not feeling very connected to them. And then the very weird thing about Age of Imprisonment is that there's like each race has, except for I guess but each race, like there's you know, in addition to the Zora Sage, I keep wanting to say champions, but in addition to the Zora Sage, there are 2 NPC Zoras. They're not really NPCs. That's rude. You know, there's 2 like new Zora characters who are just kind of there. You know, they're like I don't know if they're like, I can't remember if they're like her bodyguards or whatever, but you have two guys. You have 2, like, in addition to the Sage, you have 2 Rito, you have 2 like new Goron dudes, and you have 2 Gerudo. And it's weird because it's like, wow, these are like wholly, like completely original characters. Like they weren't even established in any kind of background cutscene shot or anything. Like these are just like completely new, made characters. So it's really interesting to me. And you know, I've come to find that I actually quite enjoy them. Maybe not so much as characters, but I've come to kind of realize playing this that I'm like, you know what, like, really, the gameplay is the big draw for me in these games anyway. Like, I know, you know, Age of Imprisonment wants the main draw to be the story. They want to do these stories now, but ultimately I'm just like, I just want to go back to like the original Hyrule Warriors, the original Fire Emblem Warriors, where I didn't need to care about any of these characters. I didn't need to care about the story. I could just grind. Like that's what I love about the Nintendo Warriors, at least, was that, you know, you just kind of get in there, you play these characters. If you like them, cool. If you don't like them, then, you know, doesn't matter. You still just play as them, and it's fun. And I don't know. I've come to kind of realize, like, you know what? You know, maybe I don't care about these sages or their these like these B-listers who they come with here, but you know, they're still fun. Like I've had a surprising amount of fun with like some of the guys where, again, I was like, I don't care about, you know, generic Hylian like sword and shield guy. You know, I just want to play as Link. But playing as generic Hylian sword and shield guy, I'm like, okay, this guy's actually kind of fun. And like, oh, the Gerudo are really fun. I really like them a lot. Like all 3 Gerudo, the Sage and the 2 B-listers, they're really fun. I really like how they play. I don't know. So in a way, I guess it's kind of opened my mind. I'm like, you know what? You know, this is fine. You could have maybe done a little more if you were gonna go ham on like this story. I don't know. Maybe they'll get better. Maybe if I focus a little more on like the dialogue and the combat, and I focus a little more on whatever other side things we got going on, maybe I'll like them more. Maybe I'll end up doing the main story. Maybe I'll like the sages. I don't think the B-listers, as I've been calling them, I don't think the B-listers really get much in the way of like the main story. But they do get a little bit of stuff in like the side modes, and maybe I'll end up liking them as characters. Maybe I won't. But either way, at least they're fun enough. And you know, I'll also say that I think the cast is already bigger than Age of Calamity was, which I honestly I really appreciate, because I think that, you know, the bigger cast on a Warriors, maybe not the better always, but I do really like it. I like having a big, as healthy of a big cast as you can without too many repeats. You know, like the original Fire Emblem Warriors, so many characters that played exactly like each other, which I guess was good in a from a certain point of view, because it's like, well, you know, if I like playing as Takumi, then I'll like. Then if I'm forced to play as another bow character, at least I know that I will enjoy them as a gameplay, right? But yeah, having as many characters as you can while limiting dupes, I think is good. Which obviously is a difficult balance. Age of Imprisonment is in a very good scenario for that though, because it's literally built on the groundwork of Age of Calamity. Like they literally had everything they needed really to build the game. Like you already have that basic framework, so, and plus obviously I'm 90% sure they're reusing Tears of the Kingdom models. I doubt they remade all the models from scratch, you know. I wouldn't even want them to. Like that would be stupid if they did. But you know, so they have the models from Tears of the Kingdom. They have the framework of the Age of Calamity that they made. So you know, now we get to kind of reap the benefits of them not having to do as much heavy lifting. Now we get more characters, even if they're not like great like characters. You know, they're still like we get more characters to play as at least, and I like that. I really do. And they all play unique as well, which is really awesome. I've noticed, you know, similarities. Like some of them have similarities, and some of them have similarities and similar animations, of course, to like Age of Calamity characters. Like the Zora Sage plays roughly similarly to Mipha. She has some similar animations to Mipha, but she's not Mipha. They didn't even reuse Mipha. You know, they didn't reuse like the champion, characters, right? Like you could have just made each of the sages carbon copies of the champions from Age of Calamity, and I wouldn't have complained because I really love playing as them. I really love Mipha, Urbosa. Are both insanely fun. I actually don't care much for Rivali in terms of gameplay, and Daruk is fine. You could have just made them all carbon copies of those characters, though, and they didn't. They went the extra mile and they made all these. Even though, of course, then they do use animations, but it's like they're still very unique. And I don't know. It offers some fun differences. Like one cool thing about Age of Calamity was Sidon. Sidon had this mechanic where if you timed attacks with this little ring, you timed attacks perfectly like that, then they do more damage. And the Gerudo have those now. The two Gerudo B-listers have the like timing mechanic, and that's cool, I think. Because I like this guy's funny. He's just an astromech on an Imperial probe droid. See, that's one of the unique ones they made for this game mode. That's not a canon Star Wars thing, but you know what? It would be so funny if it appeared in Star Wars. I'm also gonna take this BB unit because apparently we're gonna want a lot of BB units stashed away for this event coming up, which I haven't talked about. It's not even gonna take a minute. So we're gonna launch. Yeah, there's a BB-8 event coming up. So I guess if you do something, you can get a bunch of BB-8s, which are like legendary droids that you can't actually get in the game yet. You have to wait for the event. I don't know. Yeah, I'm really liking it, and I really want to play. Dynasty Warriors Origins. I think that's where some of this conversation stemmed from. That one looks really fun. But you know, one of the things that's holding me back from playing like Dynasty Warriors, for instance, is like I don't really know these characters. You know, like and I know that's weird to say, but it's like now I'm thinking like, you know what? Yeah, maybe it doesn't matter that I don't know the characters, because they can still be fun regardless. And it's still Warriors, which again, I freaking love Warriors. I can never get enough of it. As you can see, as you've been watching for the past almost an hour now, I have absolutely no problem doing repetitive tasks for hours on end. Ugh, that's why I love Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition so much. I could do this shit all day. As long as I deem it to be fun, anyway. Like if I wasn't having fun, if I wasn't getting dopamine out of this, I wouldn't be doing it. But as long as I still am, you know, I'm enjoying this. Releasing Hyrule Warriors. Like this specifically, Droid Tycoon. It's like I don't know. It's this game. It's really like it's just like it's pure junk food. This is pure like this is like when you buy a bag of bacon bits and you just start eating it out straight out of the bag. That's what this is. This is just a bunch of bacon bits you're pulling out of the bag and just like slopping down your gullet while you watch YouTube or something. Like this is what this is to me. Like it's definitely not as fun as like basically any other game that I could be playing, but it's addicting enough to where it's like it makes for the perfect thing to just sit down, put on some YouTube, and then just have this grinding out or whatever. And it makes for good talking thing too. Again, you know, I don't know why would I be doing this instead of playing like Warriors, for instance, or I don't know, like anything else I could play, like Holocure. And I don't really know. I just genuinely I do find this to be quite enjoyable. And it's still fresh for me. I have not got completely sick of it yet. Eventually, I'm sure I will. And I'll go back to Warriors or I don't know, again, anything else. I was playing Warriors earlier though. Just to be clear, I have not been entirely playing this non-stop. Not entirely. Just like half. Just like half stop. Man, I can't even rebirth. I need 4,000 of the chips, by the way. I'm at 152k. 152k, whatever. I need another like 3,000 or something. Which is why I say there should be a little bit easier of a way to grind those chips. I love Droid Tycoon Charlie. And I guess it helps that I'm getting Fortnite XP, which that's pure, like that's just engineered to give you dopamine. Like that's just engineered to get you addicted, like crack. The fact that it actually gives you real life Fortnite XP, which doesn't even do anything for me because I don't want anything from the Battle Pass. And I've pretty much finished the Battle Pass by this point. But just like number go up, so yeah. And then Fortnite has a mechanic, not a mechanic, but it has a feature in one of the menus where you can see your like lifetime levels. So like I guess, you know, every single level you get in a season will be added up. So I'm at like level, like account level, quote unquote, like 1,000 something at this point. Because over the course of however much time I've put into this Claw Forsaken game, I've gotten 1,000 levels for various battle passes total. Hey. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be funny to watch a level go up. You know, you don't ask Phantom T what his account level is. It's probably something very sad. Sorry, it was mean. But it's true though. I think 1,000 levels is sad, as is. I think it's, I don't know, but it's a fun game. What can I say? Other than, I do like Fortnite. And I hate that, you know, like, if you went back in time and told me, like, hey, you know, in like 8 or 7 or 8 years, you're gonna be like playing a shit ton of Fortnite like all the time. Which isn't even true. That's not true. I don't play it all the time. You're gonna play it. You're gonna be playing like Fortnite and spending a lot of money on Fortnite. You know, I think that the younger me would probably call you a faggot. But look at me now. I'm building rainbow droids and Droid Tycoon for. I've been playing Droid Tycoon for almost an hour now. And recording it for the world to see. For the world is seeing this. And you're watching this. And I'm talking about warriors. You know what? Here's a thing. They should make, and this is something I've thought about for a long time actually. Is I think they should make a Star Wars Warriors game. You know, like get Koei Tecmo on the line. Make a Star Wars like Muso. Not canon, obviously. Don't try to make it canon in any sense of the word, but and they never do this because it would be way too crazy, but like literally it would be perfect. It would be awesome. You could have just do some weird time travel bullshit like like Hyrule Warriors Definitive Editions. Just have all the characters together and, you know, give them crazy like over the top powers. I don't know. It'd be fun. I think there's a way you could make it work, although it'd be kind of difficult. So obviously, a lot of the enemies use blasters. I don't know how you do that. You'd have to, like, just find an excuse to give them vibroblades or something. I don't know. Like, give all the... Like, it'd be so easy. Like, you have battle droids. You have stormtroopers, First Order troopers. You know, various types of battle droids. Various types of troopers you could choose from. You have a lot of things you could choose from there for like the mooks. And then, you know, lots of things for like enemy, like commanders, you know, which are like the big guys. And then you have like the other characters, the villain characters would be like, you know, of course we have a lot of villains in Star Wars you could choose from for that. And then let me see what did you do? You know, there's a lot of characters you choose from. You could choose. Of course, you'd have like main characters from the movies, but then you could do like, I don't know, some crazy like some out of left field picks. You could do some maybe High Republic characters, maybe some Legends characters from various points in the timeline. You could do a lot. You could do a lot with it. Again, I think the hardest part would be trying to make an excuse for why like the battle droids and stormtroopers are not using guns. Although maybe they still could, I don't know. You know, Warriors games have archers in them, but you know, they're like usually the main like mooks have swords and stuff. But my genuine like my genuine belief is that any franchise could basically any franchise could work as a Muso game if you tried hard enough. And I as an avid lover of the Muso gender, I am all for that. Like literally all you need is like enemies. Like if your property has like a little army, a little military of sorts, a little like antagonistic group, there you go. You have generic mooks you can use to mow down in a Warriors game. That's why you got Super Mario, you got Goombas, you got Koopas, you got all sorts of stuff in Mario that you could do for mooks and a Mario Warriors. Star Wars, of course you got tons. You got tons of enemies. Uh, what else? I don't know, like Metroid. I don't know. You could do a Metroid Warriors. Samus just gunning down space pirates. That would actually be kind of sick. You might have a bit of a hard time finding characters in Metroid. Metroid doesn't have all that many characters, all things considered. But you got, like, obviously you got Samus. You got Ridley. Ridley can be, like, you know, he could be one of the villain characters, but then you can play as him. You know, obviously you can play as all of them, but they could be villains and you play as them, you unlock the villains to play as them, whatever. You get that one guy that everybody likes. He was in the Metroid Prime 4 stuff. You got what do you got? You got another Metroid. Ravenbeak. Ravenbeak would be sick as a Warriors character, I think. I don't need you. Or you. Like I said, I think we're gonna need these BB units, so I'm gonna like start stashing them away. You got Ravenbeak, you got oh, you could do the SAX. SAX could be like a Samus clone-ish character, but then you can mix it up with some crazy, like, you know, SAX powers. That'd be fun. Oh, Sonic. Sonic would make for an awesome Warriors game, I think. Just mowing down badniks and tons of characters to play as. I don't think we want to sell you, though, do we? Maybe we do. I don't know. I think we are going to want to, because I think we're going to get some good shit coming in. If I can get those BB-8s in that event, then it's going to be some good stuff, I think. Anyway. Kirby. Kirby would make for a fun Warriors. I've seen people propose the idea of like Pokemon Warriors. I'm unsure how exactly you'd do that, but I think it could work. I mean, I feel like it'd be kind of similar-ish to like Rumble Blast, right? Or Pokemon, not Rumble Blast. There's the series is called Rumble. You had Rumble Blast with a 3DS on, you had Rumble U. I don't know, something like that. It'd be hard with Pokemon though, because like, what would make for a good Mook, right? Like, there's so many Pokemon. Like, how do you assign like the hero characters and then the generic Mook enemies, and then like which ones will be like the commanders? I don't know. Pokemon, I feel like that would make Pokemon pretty hard, but you'd theoretically have a lot of variety to work with, a lot of freedom there. I think one very underrated aspect of Musos, right, and of games in general, really, but specifically, I feel like it's very important for a Warriors game, is enemy variety, and that doesn't even mean like enemies that do anything differently, but just like recolors of enemies. You know, maybe, you know, in an RPG it's enemies that are slightly stronger, they're recolored, whatever. But you know, like in a Muso, like, I think enemy variety is very important because I don't know, it just adds something, at least to me. Because you think about it, right, and it's like, I don't know, like I play Fire Emblem Warriors, for instance, and it's like, you're just mowing down the same, like, enemy model the entire game. Like, they barely even, I think, change model, like, depending on which faction you're fighting. Like it's always just kind of the same like Mook model, right? But then you play like Hyrule Warriors, and you have bokoblins, you have stall children, you have well, multiple bokoblins. There's the Twilight Princess, but they're not bokoblins. The Twilight Princess, are they? There's something else, I think. They're just called. Are they just blins? I don't remember. But you have those. You have the bokoblins from Skyward Sword, and then you have the mini blins from Wind Waker. And some battles you even fight against Hyrule soldiers as enemies. Some of them you fight Gorons. Some of them you even fight Kukos. And I think all those together kind of makes for a very good like good experience in terms of like enemy variety, because you don't, your eyes don't glaze over as much when it's like, oh hey, you know, this time look at this, there's a new enemy this map, and this map I'm fighting stall children, this map I'm fighting, you know, Skyward Sword bokoblins, right? And then you have, in that game, you have the enemy commanders, which can be anything. Like you have Aerial Fos, Dynalfos, Lizalfos, Redeads, Gibdos, which fucking suck. I hate fighting Redeads and Gibdos in Hyrule Warriors. Definitive Edition. Not as bad in, Gibdos aren't as bad in Age of Empires. There's so many enemy types you can face off against. So I feel like it keeps things fresh. It keeps things fresher than like in Fire Emblem Warriors, where you just fight basically the same enemy design over and over. I've crafted 700 droids. Nice. This is a good use of my lifespan, I think. And there are, not that there aren't like different enemy varieties in Fire Emblem Warriors, but it's very much the same, very much the samey. Which is why, again, I think like, again, something like Mario would be perfect, because you have Goombas, Koopas, various different types of those, and lots of enemies that you could use for just other mooks and or commanders. And that's why I think that's one thing Age of Imprisonment does really well. Excuse me, I still have the hiccups. Age of Imprisonment does it really well, even better than Age of Calamity, because you maybe even better than Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, now that I think about it. Because Age of Calamity, and more so Age of Imprisonment, you actually fight multiple enemy types in a map. So you'll be facing off against different colors of bokoblins. And Age of Imprisonment does this, goes even further beyond, because here's the kingdom. Every enemy color isn't just a recolor anymore. They have unique like horns and stuff, which helps keep things even more fresh. Nice. It keeps things even more fresh. So you're not only fighting just like enemy recolors, you're now fighting like technically like new enemy types, basically. Not really, but you know, they look different, which is nice. But in a single map, you'll be fighting a bunch of different types of bokoblins. Also, look, 7 hours for one droid. They got put down to 5 hours because of my skill, but you'll be fighting various types of bokoblins. And usually there are various types of Lizalfos in one of those maps as well. Sometimes you'll fight stall enemies. Of course, moblins are some of the mini-boss types. You have Lionels, they're mini-bosses, Stone Taluses, etc. All that good stuff. There's Keese as well. You'll find them sometimes. You'll sometimes find Octoroks. This game now has Gibdos, and now in certain maps you have the constructs from in the like the Sky Islands and the depths, and then you also have in the depths you have the Froxes, and you can also fight the Shades. There's a new enemies to this game, the Age of Imprisonment. So yeah. It's a very, very good enemy variety, and I really, really like it. Like, I don't know. It's, again, something about that variety just, to me, it helps keep things very fresh. I think keeps things very fresh, especially when you're doing the same thing over and over and over again anyway in these games. Even if you aren't grinding, if you're just doing the main story, you are basically just doing the same thing over and over. So that visual variety, I think, counts even more in something like a Warriors game. When, or just like any game where you're grinding, like that, a lot. It keeps things just a little more fresh when you're ultimately just grinding constantly. It keeps things fresh and cool. And in the case of the Hyrule Warriors as well, some of the enemy commanders slash mini bosses can keep you on your toes. More so in the original Hyrule Warriors. In the original Hyrule Warriors, if you fight a Dark Nut or Lizalfos, those two are going to be fairly different. You are going to approach them differently. And you're going to think about which item you want to need. Which, the item system in the original Hyrule Warriors was kind of doo-doo. It wasn't the greatest. But it does keep you on your toes. It keeps things a little bit fresh. I think Age of Calamity / Age of Imprisonment fails in this regard just a smidge, because I feel like my approach doesn't really change up whether I'm fighting a Moblin or a Lionel. Ultimately I just need to wait for them to do their tell and then use the counter attack. And then just it exposes their weak point. So I do think that's a little weak. I don't hate it. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate it, but I do think that in a way it's a little weaker. But I do drastically prefer the item / skill system in the new Hyrule Warriors games as opposed to the original Hyrule Warriors game. But to be fair, if Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition had like the time stopping skill, not skill, but like in Age of Calamity or especially Age of Imprisonment, when you're in a menu, time stops, or rather it slows down significantly. It doesn't entirely stop, I don't think. Maybe in Age of Imprisonment it does, but that's definitely very helpful, because especially in Age of Imprisonment, there's a lot of menuing to be done, which is like, but time stops, so it's fine. You have time to kind of slow down, think about your action, think about what you need in that scenario, and then use it. The thing that sucks about the original Hyrule Warriors is that you don't get that. You have to make, like, while you are in the middle of the battle, you have to cycle through the menu. Which by the time you get to the thing, like it's a cycle, by the time you get to what you need, the enemy might have already let go of their opening. Or they might already have attacked and you lost your opening. Which is a shame. Yeah, so I just want more Musou games like the original Hyrule Warriors, because I think that was I just enjoy them better as like love letters to a franchise. Like if we're doing crossovers, I enjoy them more as like love letters to a franchise than trying to do a canon story. Or like a story focused game. Like Age of Calamity wasn't a canon story, but it was a really good story in my opinion. I do genuinely enjoy that story a lot. I know that's controversial. And don't get me wrong, I was disappointed that it was not a canon story, but I did enjoy it nonetheless. I do think it's really good. Not the best story ever told, but I do think it's really good, genuinely. I do think it's good, and I think Persona 5 Strikers is also a really good game with a really good story. But at the same time, I look at these games, especially like Persona 5 Strikers, and I'm like, You were literally gonna do, they literally said they were gonna do, like, they were gonna have a big crossover game, and that they decided to do, you know, a Persona 5 sequel with that game. As much as I love Strikers, don't get me wrong, you know, I just look at it and I think, well, this could have just been such a fun opportunity to have all these various characters do interact together like this, outside of like Persona Q. And I think the same is true for Fire Emblem Warriors. Fire Emblem Warriors, Three Hopes. Again, I haven't played it. It's a story-focused game. It technically is like an alternate timeline, parallel sort of story to Three Houses. Like, I would have just I just would have preferred, like, if we did something really silly, you know? Like, instead of having this big story and everything, like, what if we just... And I also really love Shez, to be fair, as well. So it's, you know, the game is pretty much worth it just because of Shez alone, but... You know, at the same time I look at it and I'm like, well, what if we just had, like, a brief opening intro or whatever, and then, like, all the factions, they're like, oh no, you know, this big other faction is now here somehow. Like, we gotta team up to save the world. And now you get to play as all the characters, and you get to have interactions that you never would have seen before with all of these characters, and you wouldn't really interact post-war scenario or whatever. And I think that's fun. I think that would be awesome. Because it's just, you know, it's not a serious... It doesn't need to be a serious thing. Just make it a silly, fun crossover with lots of fan service. That's all I really want from a Muso. Even if the story's good, that's kind of what I want, is just the crossover element. It's like people always talk about Xenoblade Warriors, right? People love to talk about Xenoblade Warriors. It's like, I'm so scared of Xenoblade Warriors because I don't know what that's gonna look like. Like, there's a million ways you could do that, and I don't know if I'm gonna like any of them. Ultimately, what I want from a Xenoblade Warriors is just to be exactly that. Just a crossover. Make it the Nopon Archsage. He just pulls everyone together to fight some, you know, I don't know, like evil, like his evil twin brother or something. Just make something up. Just get all the characters to interact. I don't need like a serious story where, like, you know, everyone comes together or whatever. Like that can be, if you're gonna do the Avengers Endgame thing. It kind of seems like they're gearing up for that in the main story of Xenoblade anyway. If you're gonna do something like that, don't even get Warriors. Just make it, you know, just a fun crossover. Unless, like, okay, I guess if Xenoblade 4 and or Xenoblade X2, whatever, if that is like a big crossover with where all the games in the franchise like come together, all the characters come together to face a bigger threat, then it's like, okay, fine. I guess just do that with the Warriors game. Just continue, do a side story with all the characters or whatever. But I don't know. I just want the fun crossover. I don't want it to be serious. You don't even need to put a story in the game. To be completely honest with you, just make the entire game like, you know, like the history maps from Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, Fire Emblem Warriors, and there you go. You got my perfect Warriors game right there. Although, I mean, I guess you still want some story. You do. It would be nice to see the characters interact. You know, and that was a fun part about Fire Emblem Warriors, though, as well. Was that it had the support system from Fire Emblem. So you did get to see a good amount of interaction there. Which is lovely. Man. Still tired. Also, we're going on an hour 20 minutes. And my throat's starting to hurt. I think we're just gonna have to end it here, folks. I think we've had a lot of fun. We've had a lot of talks, mostly about warriors. But now my throat is very strained. So, well, see, this is the part of Droid Tycoon that's so dangerous, though. It's like, well, maybe one more droid. Maybe one more droid. We build one more droid here, right? One more droid. You know, maybe just one more level up. We're a quarter of the way to level 160. No more droids. No more droiding. I think for now. Oh wait, we got a rainbow. Hold on. Hold on, guys. I got a rainbow droid. That'll give us a lot of chips. A lot of chips. A lot of chips. I love chips. Oh, give me the chips. Yeah, and by the way, like I said, I need 4,000 of those chips. I still need almost 2,000 more chips. Over 2,000 more chips. I've been doing this for like an hour and a half, basically. And I am still not even halfway to where I need to be. Because I need to upgrade, a proto roller. I think it's this guy. I need to upgrade him one more time. And since he's legendary, he takes so much. It'd be great if I could find just a rainbow one spawning. But that has not happened. Like, to get a rainbow legendary spawn, that would be absurd. Absurd luck. Especially the exact one that I need. You can see how grindy this hellhole is. I love it. I love mouse droids. So you know what? I don't know what mouse droids even do. I've never really read up on mouse droid lore. They're awesome. So I love them. Goodness. I love Droid Tycoon. You know, they can make a Droid Tycoon Warriors. There you go. There's $1 million idea. Take all these droids, turn them into the Warriors characters, make them fight stormtroopers or something. Don't even need like Luke, Anakin, Obi-Wan, don't need them. We'll just have the droids do everything. Specifically, you know, these ones. These droids. Look at that one, it's got a saw. Oh, gee whiz. Ooh. And see, this is the aspect though. If you're playing on a public lobby, people will just be probably stealing those droids from you. People probably kill you. They'd shoot you and take your droids that you bought, even though they have to buy it anyway to pick it up. Maybe they just need it and they want to take it from you. I think that's quite rude. you enjoy the competition element of it, then that's something that keeps you going at night. But me, I just craft droids for the love of the game. I'm just a humble droid crafter. Look at that freak. What are you even doing here? This is my house. I don't know, he stands in front of my house. On my property. Like he owns the place. I think there's one in front of every, every spot where there could be a base. So there's no other players in my private lobby, so... Dude, we're so close to level 160. I don't even need it. There's nothing in the battle pass I need left. Yeah, I'm drowning in success. I should probably keep this guy. Okay, you know what? No. I will see you guys, well, tomorrow for more Pikmin 2. But that was recorded, like, months ago, so... Next time that the present me, will see you is next week, where I don't know. There's a lot of things we could do. Maybe I'll go back to Splunky though. It's been a few weeks since we did Splunky. Definitely won't do Fortnite. I'll definitely try not to do the same game twice in a row unless I'm like really itching to continue playing the game. But you know, maybe. We'll figure something out. Maybe we'll play Halo finally. Maybe not. Maybe I'll get BlueStacks working. We'll play Sonic Runners. There's a lot we can do. I think I'm enjoying this approach though to weekly content over. Like doing that super strict schedule of like 2 Splunkies and a Kirby a week. I think I like just having like pre-recorded stuff, like the Pikmin that I can upload, and then doing, you know, just one video here. And I don't know, it's a little more relaxed. I like it. And it gives me a little more freedom too, because again, I'm putting all these into the one. Actually, I haven't made that playlist public yet with all the weekly videos. I don't know what to call it. I don't know. Solo Saturday. I just don't know. I've been thinking about it, but I'm not entirely sure. Not entirely sure what I want to call it. But, you know, just throw it all into one playlist. Don't have to worry about much of anything. It's very chill. All I need to do is record like a... Technically these videos are supposed to just be like 30 to 40 minutes. This has gone on like way longer. Like these last few videos have gone on really long. And I know that I'm still recording right now, so this is getting even longer. Let's see. Last video was an hour long last week. Solo Saturday or whatever it is. It's an hour long. Yeah, and then before that was just Splunky, which is 47 minutes. Then Fortnite, the first Fortnite video was just 50 minutes. Yeah, so this is probably like the longest weekly video now. Great. And it's Droid Tycoon, just me showing how much of a no-life I am grinding out Droid Tycoon. And that's okay. You know what? That's fine. That's fine. But for now, we're finally getting it off here. An hour and 30 minutes into the Droid Tycoon. I guess mostly I just got so wrapped up in talking about Warriors, I kind of just forgot where the time went. And I'm gonna close out Droid Tycoon. I promise, guys. I promise. I'm not addicted. I can quit whenever I want. I'm gonna close out Droid Tycoon as soon as we're done recording here, and I'm gonna play more Hyrule Warriors. Maybe after I reach level 32 in the thing. I will see you guys next time. Be sure to watch that Pikmin video. Maybe if you like Pikmin. If you don't like Pikmin, then what's wrong with you? The Pikmin Warriors. They should make a Pikmin Warriors. Pikmin Warriors. You fight the like dwarf ball borbs. How would that work? I don't know. Pikmin Warriors. You fight your Pikmin. Your Pikmin warrior, you're like a unique looking Pikmin, and you fight the Puffman. There you go. That's something. That's something, right? We got something there. I think we got something there. I think this is a good. I think this is a good result. I think that we know. We gotta tell Miyamoto about this.